Hey there, everyone. Today we're going to go ahead and show you how to create a custom product page for Squarespace commerce sites. So normally Squarespace commerce sites look a little bit like this, where you have a section of categories and you have a product grid with product descriptions. But what if you want to create something like this, where you have description fields, and other things, including a custom sidebar menu that is more than just your categories. Well, Squarespace doesn't allow you to do this, but there is a way that you can create this custom page to make this happen. And it uses the Squarespace page engine, the product engine, which is this kind of a page with the $sign, but it allows you to create it using a standard Squarespace page layout. So let's go ahead and create a new page. So we're going to go ahead and create this as test product engine page. Let's just do test product page. And we're going to go ahead and just start with a basic layout. Now the first thing you need to do is you need to decide how you want your page organized. For the most part, you're probably going to start with some text. We'll go here. And you might even assign a heading to it for the page. And then you want to include your products. So the way that you do that is you choose your insertion point in Squarespace, and you actually choose something called a summary block. Now you have a couple different choices. You can choose a list if you want it to be in a list format, or a grid. And if we're going to choose a grid, we have lots of options how we display it. And our choices are, with our products, we can choose to insert a product grid just like this. Now the layout of it is controlled here in the Layout tab. And you can choose how wide your columns are and how small your columns are. You can choose your gutter width. And you can choose your text size. In this case, we like a smaller text size because it works a little better for these longer product descriptions. And you can choose how they're organized. And last, you can choose the categories that you want. Now the drawback with doing it this way with these summary blocks is that you're limited to 30 products. So what do you do when you have 100 products like this? Well, if you notice right here, there's a little bit of a discrepancy, and this is one of the few drawbacks of this system. This client doesn't quite have an even number of products, but we've organized the products and assigned them to category tags. And in this case, we had to figure out using an Excel spreadsheet exactly where their products would end up. So we calculated the total number of products they had in each category. In this case, it's A and B. Now, as the client's grown their product, they've had to adjust their categories. This isn't too much of a problem, but if you don't add too many products or add products that often, you could say create a category grid based on, say, product names A through C, or products named 1 through 30. And all you have to do is in the product itself, when you're editing it, you simply have to choose that category to be able to assign it so that it shows up in this grid. So when we're creating our page, we have the choice to choose the number of items to display. Now in this case, we could do 30 items, which is the maximum we're allowed to have. And we can show whatever it is that we want to show. And we can choose a category filter. Now in this case, our category filter could be organized around product category, or it could be organized, like for example, in this case for this client with a website with sewing patterns, it could be organized by, say, pants. Okay, and so we would only show, or we could do it by a tag. In this case, we're not using tags. But in this case, what we've done is we've essentially created a product grid with a certain number of products. Now in this case, we've got the descriptions turned on, so we're probably going to want to go ahead and turn those off. But you can do that just by editing this right here. And let's choose layout, actually our display grid. And we don't want to choose the excerpt because it's really not necessary. Let's go ahead and hit apply. Now we've created a brand new product grid that's completely custom. And the nice thing is we can also create other things like adding a menu, for example. If we want to create our own custom menu, we can add other things. We can add a video at the top. We can add a sign up for our newsletter. We could add, other things in here, social links and other things like that that are really useful for a product page to make it more than a product grid like this with just simply a very simple navigation, but creating something very rich with descriptions and a custom sidebar menu. So doing this in Squarespace is pretty easy to do, and it just requires a little bit of forethought in terms of how you're going to organize your product grid and how you're going to organize your page. So we're going to go ahead and save this page here. Now, right now in Squarespace, I have this linked as a not linked page because it will eventually replace this product engine page when we're done organizing it. And we have to figure out in advance, again, what categories we want to organize our products in based on this 30 maximum of the summary block. And once we do the 30 maximum of the summary block, we figure out how we're going to organize our products, then we can figure out exactly what we want to go on this page. But as you can see, it gives us a much richer opportunity to create a custom page for our products that contains a lot more than just a product grid and a category navigation, which is all Squarespace gives you with this particular type of page. Now, you cannot delete this page. That is critically important. If you delete this page, you will not be able to use your products. But this page can be hidden down here in the not linked section, and it won't show up, but it still needs to be there in your system in order for Squarespace to work properly. So that is how we create a custom product page, product grid page in Squarespace.